stories out there.
Criticize the actions of a government without hating the people. It's just obvious and self-evident to me.
I was born at about 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Okay, not that far back. I never thought that I was going to be doing politics, electoral politics. I believed in movement, I believe in community. I believe that politicians see the light when they feel the heat.
Congressman Ellison is an American lawyer, a politician, and a Democrat who became the first Muslim to be elected to the United States Congress when he won the open seat for Minnesota's 5th Congressional District, which centers on Minneapolis, in the House of Representatives in 2006. He is also the first African American elected to the House from Minnesota, currently serving in the 111th United States Congress. Ellison is also active on a national level in advocacy for Muslims in the United States. And during the struggle, did you ever get a feeling that you might not make it?
No, I always felt that, you know, God knows best, Allah's the best knower, and we were going to be just fine.
Keith enjoys a mix of all faith traditions in his own family, and that's how interfaith has become an increasingly important subject for Congressman Ellison. Do you think that kind of approach comes from the kind of upbringing one has in the family? I mean, you yourself are from an interfaith family.
Right.
Your brother is a pastor.
Right.
Your wife is Catholic.
No, she isn't.
She isn't?
That's something that's been reported, but it isn't true. My wife's not Catholic. She's never taken shahada, but she's very comfortable in the mosque. She goes there. She keeps our food halal, and she supports what we do. She makes sure the kids get to Islamic studies, and now she's comfortable in the church as well. But if you were to ask her, "Are you Catholic?" she would deny that. She'd say, "I'm not Catholic."
But your kids are growing up as Muslim kids.
Yes.
And your brother is a pastor.
Yes, he is.
So what kind of Thanksgiving dinner do you guys have? I mean, it must be like a variety of faiths together at one table.
Right. Well, first of all, we all agree we don't have any pork on the table, in respect to the Muslims, right? Okay. But then, you know, my brother might offer a prayer, I might offer one, my mother might offer one, and then we all sit down and eat. We love each other very much, you know, and there's respect between us. I think it's important to understand that in many ways, in the United States, if you have reverted to Islam, you probably still have a lot of family members who are not Muslim. And even if you were born in the faith, you still might have members of your family who are not Muslim. Or if you've even immigrated to the United States and all your relatives are Muslim, you probably have a lot of coworkers and friends who are not Muslim. So we don't have the luxury of simply saying, I don't like anybody who's not Muslim, right? We have to work in the interfaith environment and have to operate with the idea that there are other faiths that have wisdom, have important contributions to make. You know, I have heroes who are Christian and who are Jewish and who are Buddhist and other faiths. So Martin Luther King's great Christian minister who did so much for our country to overturn segregation, and did it in parallel and in conjunction with Muslim leaders like Malcolm X and others who also helped to call our country to its better self. And so that's part of the Muslim American experience, is working in an interfaith environment. And so we have interfaith dialogues a lot. A lot of mosques and churches and synagogues will have groups of people who get together and talk. In fact, a few years ago, Ramadan and Yom Kippur took place during the same period of time. And my imam reached out to a rabbi in town and invited their congregation to our mosque, where we broke fast together and had dinner together. And we thought 120 people were going to come, but about 160 people showed up. We ended up having to share food and share a table, and some people had to sit on the carpet, but we ended up having a great time. Because we do have an eye towards greater cultural understanding.
Greater cultural understanding is good, but as far as fundamentalists or radicals are concerned, how do you start a dialogue with someone who thinks that talking or communicating with people of other faiths is a sin? Now that's where the complication comes in, because a lot of the critics have been saying that Muslims believe that no Jew or Christian should come to the mosque, or we should not be talking to them or hanging out with them. If you do that, you're an infidel. How do we address that issue?
Well, all I'll say is that if you were to travel to Medina, you would see a set of letters that were dictated by Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, but were written by people who were literate, in which he went to these various leaders around the world, Persia, Egypt, various places, to tell them about Islam. And in the early Sahabas actually had meetings with people who were not Muslim in the masjid. So to say that Muslims only talk to Muslims, or that people who are not Muslim are not welcome in the masjid, I think that that is something that suggests that you need to study a little more. You know, I mean, the fact is that our faith has a tradition of tolerance. You know, when the Muslims were in Andalusia for 800 years, people were allowed to practice their faith freely. But Jews have never had a period of time under Christianity, under Christian rule, where they were as free as when they were under Muslim rule. So this is a historic fact, well documented. And so I think that this new intolerant attitude is not well informed of Islamic doctrine or Islamic history.
Allah Akbar.
The way Islam spread was primarily not by the sword, but by good example.